in the world, you don't have to worry about your goals. You don't have to worry or think about those all day long. All it is target. But I want and am, and we are creating a culture of like very high performance standards, because the only reason to expect a lot is to win the Super Bowl. And so the only reason I expect a lot is because this is what we want to do. So Fridays, we're going to always do, it's resell day, re-engage day. So I feel like there's periods of time that we go through in our business that are like big inflection points. And we're in one right now where like there's a lot of like an inflection point looks like this. You don't know when like business is like this and you go like that. And we're like right here. We're in this inflection point right now, right? Why? Because and then what happens here? It's called a quantum leap. And we have a quantum leap in the process. And what does this have to do with you? Why does it matter? A lot of it has to do with just our, I feel like sometimes we go fast and I don't communicate what's going on in my brain. And so I just want to have the ability to explain like what the vision is for you guys as we continue growing in the next direction. So financially wise, really like again, we always talk about working backwards. Like I do the same thing that I teach you to do with myself, right? And so what do we want to do? We want to we want to be the number one insurance agency in the country. And just so you know, like Northwestern Mutual does about $14.5 billion of annual premium. Northwestern does. New York Life does a little bit less. All right, like Primerica has 140,000 agents. Right? Primerica is also an $8 billion publicly traded company. So these are things that I see and I know. Do we have a superior product to Primerica? Yes. Do we have people that are great? Yes. Are we creating better systems as the days go on? Yes. All right. Like, is our product better than Northwestern product? Yes. Like if you put them right next to each other, like you get a quote from Northwestern, you get a quote from New York Life, and you get a quote from One America for the exact same death benefit on all three options. One America will have the lowest premium and the highest potential for growth and the most early cash value. It just will, right? And a lot of that has to do with the bigger companies have a lot of overhead because they spend millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars on marketing, advertising, buildings, stuff like that. And that's something like we're not going to do. And so these big companies spend all this money and it drives up the cost for the client. So we have the ability to be able to do these things. That's what, when I forecast what I want to do, this is what I do. And so now you go, everything is about 10x. So you want to do $10 billion in premium. You want to do $1 billion in premium. You want to do $100 million in premium. You want to do $10 million in premium. Start at $1 million in premium. And this is what I think about all day long. All right. This is what I think about all day long. This is where we are. This is where I want to go. And this is the next step. And so I know I want to create this, right? Could even do this. But I know this is the destination. I know this is where I want to go. And then this is how I reverse engineer it. All right. So now I have my target. This is what I want. Now this is how you be focused. All right. At the top of Google Maps, what's on the top? No, the next turn, the next thing. You don't have to worry about, right? How many of our parents would be like, you're like, I just got to go somewhere. Then they Here's what they did. They're like, all right, cool. So you're going to drive 3 miles down 95. And then when you see this billboard, you're going to get off the exit. And then 0.7 miles down the road, you're going to turn right at the pizza place. And then down the street, you'll see the orthopedic office on the side. You're going to turn left at that stop sign. You're like, Dad, all I'm going to do is follow the line on Google Maps and I'll get there fine. Right? So in the world, you don't have to worry about your goals. You don't have to worry or think about those all day long. All it is target, 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 target. And so how do you figure out target? Well, then let's say, okay, cool. Here's our target. This is what our next step is. And Brandon Dawson, who runs Cardinal Ventures, says that your revenue per agent has to be over 250,000 per agent. That way you can create a system that runs automatically. And this is a year, right? And so that would break down to being about 5K a week, right? 250 divided by 50. And that's why Rosalinda is focused on that, right? And so as this happens, right, you want to, this is all I think about now. Okay, this is my target, right? 5K a week, 5K a week, 5K a week. So I can focus on one thing. And I break down annual goals to monthly goals to weekly goals to daily goals. And this is one aspect of what we got to have. Well, if there's $250,000 of revenue, right, we need to have what's 10 million divided by 250,000. It's going to be 40. So in order to get here, we need 40 people that are this productive. Then how do you get those people to be that productive? How do you get to that revenue? Now we have to reverse engineer what the revenue is for the company divided by the annual premium of out of the annual premium of the company, and then our average deal size to figure out how many deals we need, divided by the amount of closers is that many deals per closer. And you got to reverse engineer it all the way back to what? What's first? Huh? Yeah, phone calls. Right? And so this system flows through. And so that's why we have this system. So again, now we're like, all right, cool, here's a target. And now we can just stop thinking about everything else. And then everything just becomes part of this. What's the target? $10 million in revenue. Right? And what's the revenue? Is revenue for me the same as for Infinite Capital, the same as annual premium? No, we get a percentage of that, right? It's just the override, right? And so then I reverse engineer all these things back. And so if you're looking at the sales process, the first thing that has to happen is what? Yeah, prospecting. And that includes networking. That includes cold calls. That includes warm calls. That includes texts. That includes emails. That includes webinars. That includes events. That includes out on the street, meeting people when you go out to dinner. I went to Dallas. I got 4 people's phone numbers. The 2 people I sat next to on each way. And then the one guy on the rental car thing used to work for Guardian back in the day. So I explained to him what I did. He was like, oh, I know all about that. The guy next to me, both of them are going to hire Jeff. They both are having challenges with their businesses. And so I sold them on what we do and Jeff. I have a call with both of them next week. And then the other guy didn't respond to me yet. But all of these things flow through. All right, now in order to get all these things happening, what do you first need? About this. You need people doing the work, right? We need agents. We need setters. And so all of this process has to happen this way. And as all of these things come into this funnel, they go through the funnel so that we can do what with them? Yeah, set up. Let's just put all this together as let's just set up a financial. Yeah, exactly. Financial freedom strategy call. It should really eventually just be a financial strategy call. Just make it simple. All right, financial strategy call, which is a Zoom call with a closer. And then at the end of this, there's only two outcomes. They're either gonna be submitted or they're gonna be unsold or you're sold. All right. And so if that's the case, then what do we have to do with these people? Yeah, we have to follow up. You know, I'm watching all those videos for 10X Mastermind. 83% of deals get done on the 5th to 12th contact. Not the 5th to 12th call, the 5th to 12th contact. So what does that mean? You got to talk to them 5 to 12 times. You know, only 2% of deals get done on the 1st, 3% on the 2nd, and whatever the difference is, up to 17% cumulatively between those. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So we have to follow up. All right, and in order to, the next step after this is to get it what? Paid. And then we require to have great client relations, great customer service. Because what's easier than the first sale? The second sale. And what's easier than the second sale? The third, and so on. Until they become a what? A raving fan of what we do. Like we are with Cardone. We go to every event, like no matter what. We go to every workshop. We buy every program. That's like, eventually that's what you want to build. Like Kenny Foster is a raving fan. He's a raving fan. He will be everywhere. He already booked his flight to Vegas. Done. He already gave me 4 referrals. Done. Edgar Gonzalez got his physical done, sent me tax returns, like owns a gym, $5 million thing, 120K annual premium. Like
webinars, creating fans.
Yes.
We're doing
the mastermind, we're building momentum. But we all have to be bought in. And so really, you know, as we continue to evolve, it's so important. Like our culture is so important. I keep saying this to you guys. We are laying the foundation for the culture. So every time somebody sets up an appointment, what should you do? Click this. And then what should everybody do as soon as you hear it? Let's go. Good shit. That's our culture. We cheer for people. We're excited. We're happy. I don't want to see any more coffee fucking shit on the TV. You are not to relax here. You are to relax on your bookends of your day. And you really should only relax for the last 30 to 60 minutes of your day. You don't require to relax anymore. You're required to wake up, pray, meditate. That's not called relaxing. That's getting in the zone. Go to the gym, get in the zone, get to work, and it's game time. Could you imagine if you looked at Patrick Mahomes on the sideline in the middle of the Super Bowl and he was listening to like chill music? That's not what he would be listening to. He'd be listening to music that hypes him up, that gets him in the zone, ready to go. Can you imagine if what should he be watching on his iPad if they showed look over his shoulder? The film. What should he not be watching? Shouldn't be doing what? Scrolling on Instagram, watching a Netflix show. He's not going to be watching a YouTube video of coffee and sunflowers so he can chill out in the Super Bowl. It's not the place or time to chill out. So neither is it here. How many of you did that when you played sports growing up? Was it cool? Did you have your phone in your pocket when you went to practice? I want to create, this is what I want to create, is a culture of that. And I was talking to Aaron last night. I don't know any different. So forgive me for being ignorant to that. But because of that, and because of the success I've had and the success that I see, I know it works. So like, there's a lot of people that dropped out of football because they didn't want to deal with it. And then they would blame the system. There's a lot of people that didn't end up going through with pledging the frat. I'm not going to listen to somebody tell me to do something. Okay, well then you were a loser. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Right? Like I grew up in an environment where I listened to everything my dad said and did whatever he told me because he was a successful 7-figure business owner and I respected that. Then I grew up playing football and my coaches both played college football. And so if they told me to run, I ran. Whereas the people that didn't get to play, the people that were from like the bad areas of where I grew up, what were they doing? Fucking around, pushing each other, laughing. And then what did the whole team have to do when that happens? Run. What Josh always upholded the standards. Now I was the quarterback of the football team and did not get captain. Why was I not the captain? Yeah, I wasn't popular. I wasn't cool. Because guess what I was? Hey, it's 3:00, guys. It's time to get out on the football field. And they're like, yo, Wax, shut up, man. I'll be out there. That's not, and guess who I wasn't friends with? And guess who are doing construction in my hometown today? Yeah. So if that's what you like, then don't be here. But I want and am, and we are creating a culture of like very high performance standards. And then when you play Friday Night Lights, are you in the fucking zone? And what happens after you win? You cheer and you go out to dinner, everybody. And like we used to all go out to dinner together after, and we'd probably have a party at somebody's house when we win. But if you lose, where do you go? You go home and you cry yourself to sleep. What happened to that person in all of you that hated losing so much? Why do you lose every single day and accept it? How does it not piss you off that you walk out the door with 0 set appointments and 0 scene appointments and you didn't do shit today? It pisses me off. I work my ass off and I'm super successful. And on a scale of 1 to 10, for those of you that are around me all the time, how satisfied and happy and content am I with my life? Very little. I will never be. And you shouldn't be either. I'm grateful. Like I look back, I'm grateful for my life, but I'm never content. Like I am always, and Alex Hormozy says this better than I've ever heard anyone explain it, is you're super patient in the long run. Like I don't expect to be a $1 billion company tomorrow. Like I am super patient about the end, the destination. But I am super impatient about the next target. Like I want to hit 10 million tomorrow. So I'm like, what's 10 million divided by 12? Right? 830,000. And I just rounded up to make math easy. The 12, which is $1 million a month. Like that's the target. I want to hit that now. I wanted to hit that yesterday. How do I do that in February? I don't think like other people think like, okay, well, we did 150 in January, so we'll probably do 200 and then 250, and then how long would it take you to get to 1 million? Yeah, years. I'm like, how can I do it now? And that's just the way that I think. And I want you to be understanding of how I am, because this is who you're leading, who's leading you. Like, this is who we're building together. Like, this is who your business partner is. And if we can grow and scale to these levels, if we can do $12 million this year and have a system like this, then $12 million will be about $3 million of profit. And how much money does Josh need to live? What are my bills? About $6,000 a month. You guys should all know this. I'm always going to be transparent. My bills are $6,000 a month. All right. I just signed a director of sales agreement for myself. This is what I'm paying myself. That's what I pay myself. What does it say? $0. I don't make any money. I don't need to make any money. I need to provide for her and Winston. And that's it. And I want to make sure that I keep you guys happy. I don't care about anything else at all. And I have zero desire to. And I just want you to know who you're with, because that's all I care about. And then in order for us to get here, like if we have $3 million in EBITDA and we have a good system, I can go raise money on like a 5 to 7 times multiplier. This is how it works. And 5 times 3 is 15. And 7 times 3 is 21. So then I can say our company's worth 15 to $20 million. And we need $2 million to hire people, hire other people to help us out so that like we could hire an app filler outer. So you guys don't have to waste, if you submit 3 apps a day, you don't have to waste an hour and a half of your day. You can just, someone can come in and DocuSign, it comes into DocuSign, Rosalinda calls them. It probably shouldn't even be Rosalinda as we grow. Somebody else calls them, schedules the physical, and fills out the app. And you can just close. That's what I envision for everybody. Is like you don't need to want to do that. Right? We already have great people. Like I was just talking to my dad this morning. We already have the closers. Like Josh Black is super smart. He'll be a closer soon. Danielle and Christian are in the process of becoming a closer. Tomas is super smart and being a closer. Right? David's already a closer. Noel, I'm figuring out what the best way to add value. But Noel's like, hey, I just love listening to what you guys are doing. So, and he lives in South Beach. And I'm like, hey, come check us out in person once in a while. Right? It's like everyone has their thing. But we already have our closers. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people total out of the people we already have. How many disciples did Jesus have? So what do we have? And what did the 12 create? Millions, billions. Yeah. And so that's all we have to do. And so if we create this bond, now if all you're doing is closing appointments, and you come in, is there anything better, Jared, than having a full calendar back to back to back to back to back? Love it. Right? Thanks, Noel. There's nothing better than that. There is nothing that I love to do more than work my ass off. And if I have back to back to back to back calendar, I love that shit. I love it. And hypothetically speaking, if we get our appointments down to 20-minute appointment plus a 10-minute app, that's a 30-minute appointment slot. And if everyone's working 11:06, that's 7 hours. Minus an hour for lunch is 6. Divided by a half hour means we can have 12 appointments a day every single day. And if we have 12 closers with 12 appointments a day already scheduled, how many appointments total will we need to be set for the day? Yeah, 144. And so then we have to reverse engineer that.
But then you would factor in the show rate.
Right. So we really need to double. We'd need 288 appointments, and we would double book everybody. And everybody would have double bookings at every time. And what would and the law of numbers would say that even if 3 of us had double bookings, 3 of us will also have free calendar, and you just send them to there. And we all just are fucking rock star closers, and that's what we built. I was just saying to my dad, I'm in an inflection point where everyone, minus some people that are newer and some people that don't want to yet, like to be a closer. And so everyone's a closer, but we need to feed them now. So then I'm like, all right, babe, we need to hire a bunch of setters so that we can feed the closers. Because ideally, you don't even have to go to BNI. Grant Cardone doesn't go to BNI. Grant Cardone doesn't go to the chamber, right? Like neither do his salespeople. They just walk in and they have a full calendar. Their setters have thousands of leads to call, and their closers have hundreds of appointments to run.
It's better selling than that.
Yeah.
You actually do have experience book.
Absolutely. And you build a book of business, and you're building a business. You're building a company within the company. You're building a team. You're building people. People will be around you. You want to do all this. And so this is like what we can do. Now, if our valuation is $15 to $20 million, and I already know that it'll cost like $1 to $2 million to create a proprietary software that syncs together all of our stuff like we had with PHP. We know that it's going to cost, $1 to $2 million in the next 3 years to build it out. It'll take about 2 years where we have an agent portal and a client portal, and all the agents can log in and check all their cases, sync together with every carrier we work with, and have a leaderboard to see that Jared set up 4 and Zarek submitted 3 and Ryan submitted 4 and David Hammer just made $400 million yesterday. And all these things are happening. And we'll all be able to see everything and have a culture together. And then the clients, no matter what policy or what company they have, will log into our myinfinitecapital.com, log in, client, and then they'll be able to see all their policy information and take a policy loan directly through our website. And we'll have someone in home office that's actually requesting it from the carrier. So all they have to do is go through us, and we take care of everything. This is what I work on, but this is my vision. And I feel like I expect a lot, but I don't share the Super Bowl with you. because the only reason to expect a lot is to win the Super Bowl. And so the only reason I expect a lot is because this is what we want to do. And then I can go raise $1.5 to $2 million to go do these things, to create a software, to hire some extra people in the areas that take the most amount of our time and the least skill to do. So we can hire those people and free up our time, and I can buy back your time for you and free that up. And we can get setters in here. We have 3 different options now. Hey, do you want to come in and make 100 calls a day and work till 2 like Mateo? Do you want to come in and make 200 calls a day, a couple days a week, maybe more of like a Nico thing, where like you're going to come in like 3 days a week, but you're working at the restaurant these days, or Juan was doing that too, like 3 days a week, but I'll stay till 6. And then there's a full time. And some people like Ryan will start at the first one, then go to the second one, and then go to the third one within a couple weeks. And it creates a lot of activity. I'd rather have 100 people making 100 calls than 0 people committed to full time. And so these are the ways that I want, like, that we're building this foundation together. And in order to help me out and us out, because it's really a team thing, if we all say, okay, we're all doing this together so we can do here, now we can go raise money, then how valuable would it be for agents and clients to be able to have these portals? How valuable would it be for us to have masterminds and events and run the 10X Certified Infinite Banking Summit that's going to cost me about $150,000 at the end of the year that you don't have to spend any money on? How valuable would it be to always go to GrowthCon where there's going to be 10,000 of our target market in one place and you don't have to spend anything? How valuable would it be to do all these things? It's very valuable.